Welcome back to Jersey Matters. I'm Larry Mendte. Remember this? How can you forget? Long lines at the MVC last week after the commission opened after quarantine, and people are still upset about it. What went wrong? And more importantly, how is the Motor Vehicle Commission going to make things better in the days to come? I asked Chief Administrator Sue Fulton. I know you saw the images last week of people standing in line, of people being turned away at the MVC. What was your reaction to it?
It was very upsetting, but partly because our people were prepared. Our systems were ready, including the new systems. Security and managers were prepared to tell people when we reached capacity. And we knew we'd have to turn many people away. We've been closed for almost 4 months. So we knew that the demand was more than we could meet, certainly more than we can meet in one day or 1 week. But I didn't anticipate the level of anxiety that is built up over these almost 4 months of closure. I didn't anticipate that when we told people we'd met capacity that they would refuse to leave, that when we asked people to check in and give us their cell number and then step out until we called them, that they would refuse to leave. And listen, I don't blame people. There's been 4 months of waiting to get these transactions done. But the simple truth is we're not going to be able to do it all in one day. We're doing very well. Our employees actually processed more new licenses and more new registrations on our very first day back at 65% staff than they did on an average day before COVID. So our employees performed very well. What broke my heart was the many hours that people waited and the way that our employees were treated. In some cases, I mean, they were threatened, they were abused, and they were working as hard as they could, as fast as they could. And many of them were very shaken by the things that people yelled at them, said to them. So we realized that we have to figure out a way to communicate to people when we've gotten to capacity. And so that's what we're doing now.
And the last time I interviewed you was when you were getting ready for the real IDs, and you were adamant about making certain that everything goes well. You pointed to California, so you said to me, that's not happening here. So I do know you prepare for these things. However, your answer just then made it sound like you're saying we did nothing wrong. Is that what is that what you meant?
No, I'm saying that it's my responsibility that I did not anticipate that people would not leave once we had gotten to capacity. There was no way we were going to serve everyone. And I don't think that's an error. We simply don't have the staff to operate on a 24/7 basis. The state is in a financial crisis. We can't add staff. We can't add hours. And
did you expect people to be there the night before? Was that part of the problem?
I will tell you this, we expected that there would be huge crowds and long lines. Nobody had on their bingo card people camping out overnight to get into motor vehicle agency. I think it's fair to say that was a surprise. But when it did happen, we tried to, even the governor asked people, don't camp out. Please do not come to our facility until 7 a.m. We will get to people. The thing is, we've extended licenses and registrations until September 30th. And many of the people who are in the line, and I've been out there on occasion to the lines, although security hates it when I do that, but I've insisted on going out, and many of these people in the line, they can do their transaction online, but they haven't done that. And we have to tell them, we're not going to serve you if you can do it online. Many of these people come in and they're like, my license expired in April, May, June. All of those licenses and registrations have been extended until September 30th. This information is available at njmbc.gov. If your license or registration is not expiring until September 30th, don't camp out overnight at a motor vehicle agency on July 15th to try to take care of that. Make sure that you can't do it online because you may be able to. And if you can't, come back in August. The people who we need to serve right now are the people who can't drive. That is, the people who bought a car from a private seller and were not able to get tags. If you bought it from a dealer, you were able to get a temp tag, and that temporary tag is good until September 30th. So those private purchases, and the new drivers, people who've completed the requirements for a permit or a license, they cannot drive until they get in and get that license.
Do you need law enforcement there?
This is a complicated question because the last thing we want to do is, engage law enforcement when people are acting peacefully. However, we would tell everybody it is not safe for you to be camping out overnight, showing up at 2 a.m. in all of these locations. We don't have law enforcement personnel who have nothing better to do than hang around the agencies. Please do not come then. The second piece of it, I think we have to continue to communicate more effectively with people. And that's another thing I've been working with our managers about. We have to go outside and say, listen, we're taking these new drivers. We're taking these private sales. You have an extension of September 30th. Please come back another week. You can do that online. Don't come in here. Everyone needs to go home, try again another day. So they have to continue to communicate that. Once people start leaving when they're asked to leave, that gives us the room to implement the SMS notification system that checks you in and gives you a text notice when we're ready to see you. We can't even implement that now because people won't leave, so that there's room to check people in and allow them to leave and come back in a few hours. So instead of checking in at 9 o'clock and getting, okay, I'm going to be seen at 11 or 12 or 1 or 2, I can go away and come back. We don't have the space to do that, and they're not leaving.
It's very easy to come on when you have a big victory. It's difficult to come on after something doesn't go right. So I really appreciate your time. That was Sue Fulton, Chief Administrator of the New Jersey Motor Vehicle Commission. When we come right back, it's that time of year again with reports of great white sharks off the Jersey shore. We talk to the man who tracks those sharks, and he says, don't worry about it. We'll be right back.